Yes, what I was just simply going to say is that if they hope to divide Jordan out of a coalition, they made a huge mistake. You only have to look back at 2005 when the public opinion in those days was very largely in supportive of Al-Qaeda and their opposition to the United States, and somewhat to Zarqawi, who was another terrorist at the time. And then the bombings in the hotels and the weddings that killed all Muslims, by the way, happened, and that's where Sajida is picked up. The public opinion changed dramatically. It went from like 80% down to low 30s in support of any of it, and totally supporting the government taking drastic action. And I predict that that will be the reaction in Jordan today.
Well, I know. Go ahead.
I was going to say there are going to be those, there have been and will be, who say, why are we in this? We shouldn't be in it. But what I would answer to that is that the Jordanian people and the government have been fighting terrorism for almost all of their existence. If you go back into the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the PLO in those days hijacking airplanes, one of their prime ministers was assassinated. This country knows what it means to be a victim of terrorism, and they're dedicated to fighting terrorists, and they are dedicated to fighting the Islamic State.
If they're dedicated to fighting terrorists and they're the next door neighbors, will they take their Muslim boots and put their Muslim boots on the ground against these people who have bastardized this religion in an effort to wipe them out, or are we still looking for somebody to do it?
Well, I think in response to your question, they've got boots on the ground, but they're probably in the intelligence service and they're probably in cover, doing covert work, which is vitally important.
You know what I mean?
I do know what
someone's got to send a message at some point that the world will not stand for this. And you can't have America, the current wisdom seems to be you can't have American boots killing Muslims on the ground. They got to go over there and take care of a problem that began there and needs to end there. Are the Jordanians up to it?
The Jordanians are up to it if they're in a bigger group, but they're a small country. They have a small military. They're not going to be able to do it alone. But you're quite right, and I think that's the message. It's only if you deal with the ideology, and that is what's threatening the region, and that's what they're aiming to use to try and take over the region. But the countries, others know about this, but they have not yet put those boots on the ground. You're quite right.